Hello, thank you so much for checking out my channel. Today I wanted to do a video about 3 haunting facts about the Titanic. Now without further ado, let's begin. There were many animals on the ship. It is believed there were 12 dogs, 4 roosters, 4 hens, 1 canary, and 30 cockerels, and a cat named Jenny, who was the ship's official mascot. Jenny was also responsible for keeping the rat and mice population in check while on board. Jenny, at the time the Titanic sailed, was a veteran of the seas, working as a mascot and exterminator for the Titanic's sister ship, the Olympia. Jenny also gave birth a week before the Titanic sailed from Southampton. She normally lived in the galley, where the staff fed her and her kittens scraps from the kitchen. Stewardess Violet Jessup wrote that the cat laid her family near Jim, the scullion, whose approval she says the cat always sought, and he always gave it to her with warm devotion. Although we don't know all the names of the animals on board, here are a few that were documented and their owners. A King Charles Spaniel, owned by William and Lucille Carter. The dog did not survive. Chow Chow, a Chow Chow owned by stockbroker Harry Anderson. The dog did not survive. A champion French bulldog, born January 1910, owned by Robert Williams Daniel, who bought the dog in England for the very high price of £150, which would equal £13,393 in 2015. The dog did not survive. Kitty, another terrier owned by millionaire John Jacob Astor, did not survive and perished with her owner. A Pomeranian owned by Margaret Bestine Hayes, named Lady, which she kept in her cabin, survived. A dog owned by Elizabeth Rothschild, also kept in her cabin, survived. A passenger named Charles Moore of Washington, D.C., made a last-minute change to his plans to transport aboard the Titanic 100 English foxhounds, which he intended to use to start an English-style fox hunt in the Washington area. Luckily, they were shipped aboard another vessel. There were a number of birds on board as well. Ella Holmes White, of New York, brought 4 roosters and 4 hens, which were probably kept in the F-deck dog kennels. She had imported them from France, with the intention of improving her poultry stock at home. Another woman was said to have brought 30 cockerels aboard, and Elizabeth Ramel Nye brought her yellow canary. The ship was also infested with many rats. Jenny did her best, but the single mother could not catch them all, and one was seen running across the third-class dining room on the evening of the sinking, to the shock and amazement of the diners. Some of the women who saw the rat burst into tears, while men tried unsuccessfully to capture the rat. So now that you know a bit about the animals on board, let's talk about what happened to them. Sadly, only a few of the Titanic's animals survived the ship's sinking. 3 of the dogs were taken aboard lifeboats by their humans. Margaret Hayes' Pomeranian got away safely in Lifeboat 7 and lived until June 1917, when she ran away or was stolen, while Elizabeth Rothschild refused to board Lifeboat 6 unless her Pomeranian was allowed to come too. Henry and Myra Harper brought their Pedigrees aboard Lifeboat 3, but Helen Bishop had to abandon Frou Frou in her cabin. They were both understandably heartbroken. The dog attempted to stop her by holding onto her dress with his teeth until the seam tore. Afterwards, Bishop spoke of her sorrow. Quote, "The loss of my little dog hurt me very much. I will never forget how he dragged on my clothes. He so wanted to accompany me." None of the other animals survived. At some point during the sinking, someone decided to free the dogs from their kennels, leading to a pack of excited dogs racing up and down the slanting deck as the ship went down. One female passenger is said to have refused to be parted from her dog and chose to stay on board. Several days later, as the SS Brenman passed through the area still strewn with debris and bodies floating in the water, a single passenger saw the body of what she thought was a woman, tightly holding what could have been a large shaggy dog in her arms. Robert W. Daniels' bulldog was last seen in the water, swimming for his life after the ship went down. After the sinking, several of the surviving animal owners made compensation claims for their lost pets and poultry. Daniel claims $750 for the loss of his pedigree bulldog, while Carter claimed $300 for the loss of his 2 dogs. White claimed $207 for the loss of her chickens, and Anderson claimed $50 for his chow chow. Lofty sums for that time. Jenny the cat, unfortunately, did not make it. Unfortunately, with the film, liberties were taken. This has both good and bad outcomes. 1. It can make the film more entertaining, exaggerating someone's life. However, it can also be dangerous, portraying good people as dumb, foolish, or downright evil, making the family and loved ones suffer even more. The Titanic did this with a crewman by the name of William Murdoch. In the film, he is seen as a cowardly and cold-hearted man who accepts a bribe from a passenger to be let on the lifeboat. He also shot and killed another passenger who was pleading for help. Murdoch then turned the gun on himself. In real life, according to surviving eyewitnesses, Murdoch actually worked tirelessly to save the ship, and when it was clear that the ship was beyond saving, he tried to load as many lifeboats with passengers as he could. In Scotland, where Murdoch was from, he celebrated as a hero for his conduct and staying true to his morals. There are other portrayals that don't add up to the real-life people, but I'm planning on doing another video on that, so please stay tuned if you're interested. This photograph that you're seeing right here is of an iceberg that is believed to have been taken on April 16, 1912, from the deck of the SS Prince Alderbert. Though the Titanic sank in the early hours of the previous day, no one on this liner was aware of the tragedy, despite their close proximity to where it occurred. Passengers on the Prince Alderbert claimed that this particular iceberg had a large strip of red paint on it, and sensing its significance, one of them snapped a photo. But there is one problem. This was not the iceberg that sank the Titanic. However, this photograph was taken from the deck of the SS Carpathia, which traveled directly to the collision site 2 hours after the Titanic sank to search for survivors. Though we may never know for sure, there's a much better likelihood that this is the iceberg responsible for the tragedy. There are other interesting and haunting stories of the Titanic that I have found, and if you would like, I would love to make more videos on the doomed ship. Please let me know what you think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to make more videos for you soon.